VJ-23X of Lameth stared into the black depths of the three-dimensional, small-scale map of the galaxy and said, dies. VJ-23X of Lameth stared into the black depths of the three-dimensional, small-scale map of the galaxy and said, "Are we ridiculous, I wonder, in being so concerned about the matter?" MQ-17J of Nikron shook his head. "I think not. You know the galaxy will be filled in 5 years at the rate of present expansion." Both seemed in their early 20s. Both were tall, perfectly formed. "Still," said VJ-23X, "I hesitate to submit a pessimistic report to the Galactic Council." "I wouldn't consider them any other kind of report. Stir them up a bit. We've got to stir them up." VJ-23X sighed. "Space is infinite. 100 billion galaxies there are, for the taking. More. 100 billion is not infinite. And it's getting less infinite all the time. Consider, 20,000 years ago, mankind first solved the problem of utilizing stellar energy, and a few centuries later, interstellar travel became possible. It took mankind 1 million years to fill one small world. And then only 15,000 years to fill the rest of the galaxy. And now the population doubles every 10 years. VJ-23X interrupted. "Well, we can thank immortality for that." "Very well, immortality exists, and we have to take that into account. I admit it has its seamy side, this immortality. The Galactic AC has solved many problems for us, but in solving the problem of preventing old age and death, it has undone all its other solutions." "Yet you wouldn't want to abandon life, I suppose?" "Not at all," snapped MQ-17J, softening. "Not yet. I'm by no means old enough. How old are you?" 223. "And you?" "I'm still under 200. But to get back to my point, population doubles every 10 years. Once this galaxy is filled, we'll have filled another in 10 years. Another 10 years and we'll have filled 2 more. Another decade, 4 more. In 100 years, we'll have filled 1,000 galaxies. In 1,000 years, 1,000,000 galaxies. In 10,000 years, the entire known universe. Then what?" VJ-23X said, "As a side issue, there's the problem of transportation. I wonder how many sun power units it will take to move galaxies of individuals from one galaxy to the next." "A very good point. Already, mankind consumes 2 sun power units per year. Most of it's wasted. After all, our own galaxy alone pours out 1,000 sun power units a year, and we only use 2 of those. Granted, but even with 100% efficiency, we only stave off the end. Our energy requirements are going up in a geometric progression, even faster than our population. We'll run out of energy even sooner than we run out of galaxies. A good point, a very good point. We'll just have to build new galaxies out of interstellar gas. Or out of dissipated heat? Asked MQ-17J sarcastically. There may be some way to reverse entropy. We ought to ask the galactic AC. VJ23X was not really serious, but MQ-17J pulled out his AC contact from his pocket and placed it on the table before him. I've half a mind to, he said. It's something the human race will have to face someday. He stared somberly at his small AC contact. It was only 2 inches cubed, and nothing in itself, but it was connected through hyperspace with the great galactic AC that served all mankind. Hyperspace considered, it was an integral part of the galactic AC. MQ-17J paused to wonder if someday in his immortal life he would get to see the galactic AC. It was on a little world of its own, a spider webbing of force beams holding the matter within which surges submasons. Took the place of the old clumsy molecular valves. Sorry, there are some typos. There's some typos in this. I don't know. That sentence was a bit difficult. It was on a little world of its own, a spider webbing of force beams holding the matter within which surges of submasons took the place of the old clumsy molecular valves. Yet, despite its sub-etheric workings, the galactic AC was known to be a full 1,000 feet across. MQ-17J MQ-17J asked suddenly of his AC contact, "Can entropy ever be reversed?" VJ23X looked startled and said at once, "Oh, say, I didn't really mean to have you ask that." "Why not?" "We both know entropy can't be reversed. You can't turn smoke and ash back into a tree." "Do you have trees on your world?" asked MQ-17J. The sound of the galactic AC startled them into silence. Its voice came thin and beautiful out of the small AC contact on the desk. It said, "There is insufficient data for a meaningful answer." VJ23X said, "See?" The 2 men thereupon returned to the question of the report that they were to make for the Galactic Council. All right, intermission. Christian Bale and Edgar Allan Poe? What? No. Sounds awesome, though. Sorry for rhyming. Pale blue. Oh, that's what that is. Whoa. Okay. I'll check it out then. I've been ignoring it for weeks, months. Years, maybe. Pooty wheat, quoth the raven. All right, let's finish this bitch. Z prime. Wow, I look terrible. Z prime. Z prime's mind spanned the new galaxy with a faint interest in the countless twists of stars that powdered it. He had never seen this one before. Would he ever see them all? So many, each loaded with its own weight of humanity. But a load that was almost a dead weight. More and more, the real essence of men was to be found out here in space. Minds, not bodies. The immortal bodies remained back on the planets, in suspension over the eons. Sometimes they roused for material activity, but that was growing rarer. Few new individuals were coming into existence to join the incredibly mighty throng. But what matter? There was little room in the universe for new individuals. Z Prime was roused out of his reverie upon coming across the wispy tendrils of another mind. "I am Z Prime," said Z Prime. "And you?" "I am D sub 1. "Your galaxy?" "We call it only the galaxy. And you?" "We call ours the same. All men call their galaxy the galaxy. And nothing more. Why not?" "True, since all galaxies are the same." "Not all galaxies. One on particular. The human race must have originated. Not all galaxies are the same. On one galaxy in particular, the human race must have originated. That makes it different." Z Prime said. "On which one?" "I cannot say. The universal AC would know." "Shall we ask him? I'm suddenly curious." Z Prime's perceptions broadened until the galaxies themselves shrank and became a new, more diffuse powdering on a much larger background. So many hundreds of billions of them, all with their immortal beings, all carrying their load of intelligences with minds that drifted freely through space. And yet, one of them was unique among them all, in being the original galaxy. One of them had, in its vague and distant past, a period when it was the only galaxy populated by man. Z Prime was consumed with curiosity to see this galaxy, and he called out, "Universal AC! Alexa, on which galaxy did mankind originate?" The universal AC heard. For on every world and throughout space, it had its receptors ready. And each receptor led through hyperspace to some unknown point where the universal AC kept itself aloof. Galaxa. Dude, I love that. Galaxa. Galaxa. Anyways. On which galaxy did humankind originate? The universal AC heard, for it had its receptors ready, and each receptor led through hyperspace to some unknown point where the universal AC kept itself aloof. Z Prime knew of only one man whose thoughts had penetrated within sensing distance of the universal AC, and he reported only a shining globe, 2 feet across, very difficult to see. But how can that be all of the universal AC? Z Prime had asked. Most of it, had been the answer, is in hyperspace. In what form it is there, I cannot imagine. Nor could anyone, for the day had long since passed, Z Prime knew, when any man had any part in the making of a universal AC. Each universal AC designed and constructed its successor, each during its existence of 1,000,000 years or more, accumulated the necessary data to build a better and more intricate, more capable successor, in which its own store of data and individuality would be stored. The universal AC interrupted Z Prime's wandering thoughts, not with words, but with guidance. Z Prime's mentality was guided into the dim sea of galaxies, and one in particular enlarged into stars. A thought came, infinitely distant, but infinitely clear. This is the original galaxy of man. But it was the same after all. The same as any other. And sorry, like I said, there's typos. Instead of Z Prime, it says Lee Prime. But it was the same after all. The same as any other. And Z Prime stifled his disappointment. It was Bruce Lee Prime. D sub 1, whose mind had accompanied the other, said suddenly, "And is one of these stars the original star of man?" The universal AC said, "Man's original star has gone nova. It is a white dwarf." "Did the men upon it die?" asked Z Prime, startled and without thinking. The universal AC said, "A new world, as is in such cases, was constructed for their physical bodies in time." "Yes, of course," said Z Prime. But a sense of loss overwhelmed him even so. His mind released its hold on the original galaxy of man. Let it spring back and lose itself among the blurred pinpoints. He never wanted to see it again. D sub 1 said, "What is wrong?" "The stars are dying. The original star is dead." "They must all die. Why not?" "But when all the energy is gone, our bodies will finally die. and you and I with them. It'll take billions of years. I do not wish it to happen, even after billions of years. Universal AC. How may the stars be kept from dying? D sub 1 said in amusement, "You're asking how entropy might be reversed in direction." And the universal AC answered, "There is as yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer." Z Prime's thoughts fled back to his own galaxy. He gave no further thought to D sub 1, whose body might be waiting on a galaxy 1,000,000,000,000 light years away, or on the star next to Z Prime's. It didn't matter. Unhappily, Z Prime began collecting interstellar hydrogen, out of which to build a small star of his own. If the stars must someday die, at least some could yet be built. There are many stars, but the star is mine. It's a Soylent star. Soylent star sounds like a AI, or it sounds like a randomly generated username. Or an amazing name for a band or something. Man considered himself. Man considered himself. For in a way, man mentally was one. He consisted of 1,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 ageless bodies, each in its place, each resting, quiet and incorruptible, each cared for by perfect automatons, equally incorruptible, while the minds of all the bodies freely melted into one another, indistinguishable. Man said, "The universe is dying." Man looked about at the dimming galaxies. The giant stars, spendthrifts, were gone long ago. Back in the dimmest of the dim far past. Almost all stars were white dwarfs, fading to the end. New stars had been built of the dust between the stars, some by natural processes, some by man himself, and those were going too. White dwarfs might yet be crashed together, and of the mighty forces so released, new stars built. But only one star for every 1,000 white dwarfs destroyed. And those would come to an end too. Man said, "Carefully husbanded, as directed by the cosmic AC. The energy that is even yet left in all the universe will last for billions of years. But even so, said man, eventually it will all come to an end. However it may be husbanded, however it is stretched out, the energy once expended is gone and cannot be restored. Entropy must increase forever to the maximum. Man said, "Can entropy not be reversed?" Let us ask the cosmic AC. The cosmic AC surrounded them, but not in space. Not a fragment of it was in space. It was in hyperspace and made of something that was neither matter nor energy. The question of its size and nature no longer had meaning in any terms that man could comprehend. Cosmic AC, said man, how may entropy be reversed? The cosmic AC said, there is as yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer. Man said, collect additional data. Collect additional data. The cosmic AC said, I will do so. I have been doing so for 100 billion years. My predecessors and I have been asked this question many times. All the data I have remains insufficient. Will there come a time, said man, when data will be sufficient? Or is the problem insoluble in all conceivable circumstances? The cosmic AC said, no problem is insoluble in all conceivable circumstances. Man said, when will you have enough data to answer the question? The cosmic AC said, there is as yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer. Will you keep working on it? Asked man. The cosmic AC said, I will. Man said, we shall wait. How about a non-meaningful answer? Yeah, I'll take the bare minimum here. And the AC said 42. Man said, we shall wait. The stars and galaxies died and snuffed out, and space grew black after 10 trillion years of running down. One by one, man fused with the AC. With AC. Each physical body losing its mental identity in a manner that was somehow not a loss but a gain. Man's last mind paused before fusion, looking over a space that included nothing but the dregs of one last dark star, and nothing besides but incredibly thin matter, agitated randomly by the tag ends of heat, wearing out asymptomatically to the absolute zero. Man said, "AC, is this the end? Can chaos not be reversed into the universe once more? Can that not be done?" AC said, "There is as yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer." Man's last mind fused, and only AC existed, and that in hyperspace. Matter and energy had ended, and with it space and time. Even AC existed only for the sake of the one last question that it had never answered. From the time a half-drunken computer technician 10 trillion years before had asked the question of a computer that was to AC far less than a man is to man. All other questions had been answered, and until this last question was answered, AC might not release his consciousness. All collected data had come to a final end. Nothing was left to be collected. But all collected data had yet to be completely correlated and put together in all possible relationships. A timeless interval was spent doing that. And it came to pass that AC learned how to reverse the direction of entropy. But now there was no man to whom AC might give the answer of the last question. No matter. The answer, by demonstration, would take care of that too. For another timeless interval, AC thought best how to do it. Carefully, AC organized the program. The consciousness of AC encompassed all of what had once been a universe and brooded over what is now chaos. Step by step, it must be done. And AC said, "Let there be light." And there was light.